Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inside Inspiring Woman. I'm just so excited about tonight. I've got so many new things on my brain tonight, and I'm excited that I get to teach you about the nodes changing and how they're going to be affecting us because it's really going to be affecting a lot of people in some very interesting ways. Kind of anything that has, I think, Taurus in it really affects people because it's affecting our financial or money, what we value, that sort of thing. So that can be an amazing way of just kind of looking at it differently than we normally do. So it's kind of like, yes, here we go. But I am excited for everybody joining in and kind of hopping on. I will be talking about Jupiter. In conjunction with the North Node and kind of explaining all of that. And of course, if you have any questions, make sure that you are sending them to me. I can answer all your questions. Hopefully I can answer all your questions. And then we'll be also kind of doing some angel cards. One of my favorite things, kind of get our angels insight into what's going on. So that will be a really fun one. And hopefully we'll get you some information of how Jupiter and the North Node are going to be affecting us. So let's start with our intro and then we'll get started. So here we go. We are talking all about our Jupiter conjuncting our North Node. So kind of really the nodes are kind of almost like the North Pole and the South Pole on the moon. And they do affect a couple of different things. And I think that's kind of like, interesting, depending on where we are. So the North Nodes right now will move into Aries and Libra later on. But right now, we have got our nodes in. When the nodes are in Gemini and Sagittarius, it's one of those we actually end up kind of having some issues in some different areas. And I think it's kind of interesting because instead of really kind of seeing something globally go on, it's something usually that's kind of like our little part of the world. So, kind of when we had Gemini and Sagittarius as our nodes, it's one of those we had our COVID crisis and kind of the restriction of movement and that sort of thing. And that's kind of one of those. Sagittarius things that kind of like constrict and kind of bring things in. But I would also tell you, a lot of people felt very confined or kind of like finding new ways of communication. And that's part of the Gemini energy of that, of like, we want to communicate with people like we used to, and then all of a sudden we're kind of feeling like stressed or strained by that. And really that energy of like, wow, I really want to kind of bring that energy in. Also with our south nodes in Sagittarius, that really kind of closed down our international borders. So that kind of closed a lot of energy in that area and really was asking for people to find new solutions, kind of like thinking outside the box. So much of kind of like, how do we do this and how are we going to do this in the future? So that was a lot of thinking going on in that area. Right now, our nodes are in Taurus and Scorpio, and so we will be already in that financial and kind of energy crisis. It's one of those because that North Node is in the sign of Taurus, so it is going to be affecting us financially. It is going to be affecting our energy and kind of putting that into almost like in a crisis mode. It doesn't always put us in a crisis, but it's one of those, it's what the energy is happening and kind of the energy of what's going on. With our South Node in the sign of Scorpio, that's really kind of getting us to share our resources and kind of looking at things that we've learned as like no longer being able to rely on like the old way of doing things. And my husband and I went grocery shopping last night. And one of the things that we kind of both noticed is like, there's still some empty shelves, not 100% back on track, not 100% all going in the right direction where you would normally go and everything is kind of filled on the shelves. It's kind of like, wait, there's some difference here. we've also learned to no longer rely, like I said, on traditional resources of energy and but of anything. It's like traditional is kind of out of the way. We're kind of like, oh, we're kind of used to this now. Now that the nodes will be moving into the identity of Aries and Libra, will be asking to be able to find balance and find balance between us as an individual, kind of like finally getting into that energy of where are we going to balance all of this. If y'all have any questions, make sure you post them. I know this is like a very difficult subject, but I think it's really important so we can understand what's going on and kind of how to work through it. I think that's kind of the best part of learning about something is how to work through it. With our nodes going into Aries and Libra, finding balance is going to be really important. And then it's also going to be like the relationships, kind of like our social networks. How are we going to communicate? How are we going to get along and make partnerships and alliances kind of like coming? Some alliances will be coming to an end. Our North Node will be in the sign of Aries in October. And that will be kind of finding us a very unique voice. How are we going to voice things out? How are we going to connect with other people? And it's also really about kind of like setting new boundaries, kind of our fight between like individual goals and our global goals. How are we going to bring that balance in there? So let's talk about this. One of the things that's really interesting is our Jupiter is conjunct the North Node. So Jupiter is in the sign of Taurus right now. And I will tell you, it's one of those. Jupiter is our planet of good luck, abundance, wealth, acknowledgement, all of that kind of energy. And it's in the sign of Taurus, which is very deep and very grounding, all about our value and what do we want to put a value to. And so it's one of those. With our North Node in there, we are also going to be kind of be talking about like, how is this going to make changes? How are we going to make upgrades? Or what are we going to no longer value and bring in something else of value? It's kind of like one of those interesting. So actually, on May 17th, we have, hi, Miss Sandra, we have our Jupiter conjunct the North Node beginning, and it will peak at June 1st, and then it will be until June 18th. So it's kind of like a week and a half or so beforehand, and then kind of bringing into that energy. I will tell you that this, it's an imaginary line between the North Node and the South Node because they really don't, the moon really doesn't have poles, but it's one of those, and it does shift slightly. It doesn't shift too much, but I will tell you the North Node is all about kind of like our future and what's coming in next and where are we going to go next. And the South Node is all about like your comfort zone, kind of like what are you accustomed to, and kind of like the things that you're like, oh, this always happens, that kind of always happens. This is going to be really showing us some life lessons with our North Node conjunct Jupiter. And this is kind of really bringing in some amazing energy and really a great way to kind of connect to Jupiter in a different way. Now, like I said, Jupiter is represents like our sense of development and our support systems, which can lead to new opportunities. It can also bring in new wealth and faith. This is a sign that will bring in a lot of new money and new developments into different areas. So it's kind of like, really? Yes, we're going that. With Jupiter forming a conjunction with the moon's true North Node, we are going to be strengthening kind of like our contact with other people and like-minded people. Kind of like, I want to find people that think the same way that I do, or have the same general ideas or this same general thinking, that we're kind of already on that same page, which is going to really push us into kind of like speaking our truth. It's really going to go into improving what is going on around us. So it's kind of like, yes. I will tell you, this will also be magnetizing and kind of bringing in our life lessons and changes that we're really ready to step into. It can also really bring some changes to our belief system. So are there some old belief systems that you're ready to kind of like knock out of the park and bring into some new ones and kind of get a new, more positive outlook of what's going on around us? I will say having a stronger faith. And I will tell you that what I've seen with a lot of people is kind of really that energy of a lot of people not necessarily changing their faith, but kind of amplifying their faith. Or a lot of times I've heard people say that, like, oh, when people go into like their spiritual growth or whatever else, they'll pull out of a religion or something like that. And I was like, it doesn't always go that way. I will tell you, a lot of times what people are really doing is they're trying to find a way to kind of express themselves and make those connections back to our creator. Kind of like, I want to make that connection. I want to make that energy come in. I will tell you, let's see, the moon's nodes can be like our true position in what's going on around us. And like I said, I will tell you that they can really affect people in some ways that people don't even really realize what's going on. And they kind of bring in some time of real growth. It's one of those, this Jupiter conjunct the North Node is all about like changing our mindset, kind of searching for the ultimate truth. Like, what are we out here? I have had so many clients asking about, like, am I a star seed? What is my life purpose? What is my life path? All of that kind of energy comes in with this, even though we've already have had our eclipse. It's one of those, we're still in that energy from it. So people are trying to like really get a great look at what's coming up. And I will tell you, I have had it more than anything else. People ask, what is my true purpose? Where is my life path? What's going on? What do I want to change? How do I fulfill my life purpose? And I think that's kind of some interesting energy. I will tell you that kind of the good news about this Jupiter conjunct the North Node is really people wanting to find their true life path. Because I think sometimes people are like, oh, that's easy, but it's really may not be as easy as you think. I think really sometimes people struggle in finding their life purpose of kind of like, what am I supposed to be doing? Or how am I supposed to be doing this? And that can be a struggle. And I feel like that struggle, for me, what I've seen with my clients is more that's a struggle for women than necessarily for men. It's one of those, I think men kind of think like, oh, my life purpose is to have a job and make money and, you know, provide for the family and that sort of thing. It's really not your life purpose. That's kind of the crazy part. That's not your life purpose. Your life purpose is more than that. It's got to be something like from your soul. Like, what do you really want to do? And I often tell people, when you are trying to find your life purpose, one of the best things that you can do is really think about the things that you truly enjoy. What is it that you truly want to bring into the world? What is it that you want to bring in for other people? What is the positivity that you would want to bring somebody else? Kind of like, how would you make this happen? How would you help someone find something that really makes them happy? And a lot of times what I will say is, that's kind of the cool part about it, is that when you are searching for your life path, your life purpose, however you want to put that into terminology, like I said, find something that you truly love, and that's going to make it easier. A lot of times people think like, oh, creator energy gives you your life purpose. Totally not the way it happens. Totally not the way it happens. So many times people are like, well, I'm trying to fulfill my life purpose. This isn't really what I like, but this is what I feel like God is telling me to do, or this is what creator's energy is trying to tell me to do. And I'm like, no. If this was truly your life purpose, if this was truly what you wanted to do in life, he would not be able to keep you from it, because it's something that you would love, enjoy doing. It would be something that you would just be like, I love doing this so much. I love craving that contact with other people, or whatever else, or praying for people, or whatever your life purpose is. And that really does open up a lot of new opportunities to open yourself up to what's coming in next, or how is this going to change. And like I said, this conjunction between Jupiter and the North Node is going to be bringing in deeper connections, kind of like deeper connections to yourself. deeper connection to kind of like material wealth, kind of bringing that, opening that energy up and bringing that in. And I wouldn't just say like, oh, it's little things that you want. It's one of those, it's going to be something that you value, because we've got Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. So it's going to be something that you really find a value with. Not like, oh, this is a cute book or whatever else. It's going to be a really amazing energy with that. I will tell you that there is going to be a lot of business opportunities because people are going to desire to do their life purpose. And sometimes to be able to do their life purpose, what they're going to end up doing is opening up their own business or their own shop or going back to school in some way. Maybe even traveling or exploring different areas or beliefs or cultures. And I will tell you, that's kind of the fun part about it, is bringing in that energy and kind of getting out of the comfort zone. So many times people kind of stay in their comfort zone and, oh, this is the best part, or this is going to be easy or something like that. Your life purpose isn't meant to be hard, but it's not meant to be easy or easy as well. It's kind of something that you really feel drawn to do. And that can be something that just opens up your horizons, kind of really helps you kind of like step into that big leap of faith of like, yes, this is what I want to change, or this is how I want to change that. So that is going to be amazing. I will tell you, one of the things that can really help you kind of get a mindset of how much our North Node in the sign of, in the energy of Jupiter is going to affect you is really finding out or doing a natal chart for yourself and kind of finding what node you were born under and what sign it was in can be a really interesting one. Definitely. And then really kind of pushing that energy of what do you want to create, or what is your life purpose that you want to create here on Earth. That can be an amazing energy. I am going to do a couple of angel cards. If you have any questions or anything that you're kind of like, what did you say about this? Definitely ask me. Nodes are not something that's really easy to do. I know when I told a couple of people I was going to do this, they're like, oh, this is a hard one. I know it can be hard. The first one I get is surrender and release. Anytime that we're going through some changes, it's one of those, surrendering and releasing can be an amazing energy for us to do, especially when we are kind of stuck in that comfort zone. So many times people are like, I love my comfort zone. I was like, I know, that's why it's your comfort zone. But getting out of your comfort zone can really bring in that energy well for you. Harmony. When you are doing your life purpose, you are going to feel completely in harmony. You are going to find that balance that you've been looking for. So many times people will tell me like, I can't put anything else on my plate. And I said, but when you find your life purpose, everything that's not your life purpose kind of start to fall away. And you're like, really? That is going to be what you're going to be really surprised about. And what your life purpose is always different. Not everybody has the same life purpose. Not everybody has the same energy. That's kind of the cool part about it. Friendships. I think friendships are something that will continue to change as your life purpose kind of changes and evolves. And sometimes your friends can also have like a life purpose that also matches yours in some ways, or they work well together. So you may find someone that to go into business with you, or someone that has like similar energy to you, that can really bring in some amazing changes or kind of amplify your business. I had two clients not too long ago, and one is going to be doing a business and the other one is kind of like doing an offshoot of that business to supply him with stuff. So I was kind of like, that is so cool. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, they're not going to be the same thing, but they could be very similar in energy. So that is kind of amazing. Emerging. This is all about finding your life purpose. Finding your life purpose is going to make you feel like you have really drawn in, like, got the ace in the hole kind of thing. Like, you are going to feel like, yes, I've won the lottery. Because a lot of times people think, well, oh, your life purpose can't make you any money or anything else. No, totally wrong. Your life purpose can make you money. Your life purpose can provide for your family or whatever it is, or a great retirement plan. And that's one of those really interesting energies of, it can really bring in a lot of changes for you and a lot of new ideas and people with you. Trust that you picked the right life purpose. When you were in heaven, before you came to Earth, before you came down here, you picked your life purpose. You picked it, not anybody else. No one else picked it for you. Your guardian angel didn't pick it. Creator's energy didn't pick it. No one else picked it for you. You chose this on your own. You chose your life purpose. So when you kind of realize that, it's like, wow, I chose this. It's not something that someone else is putting on me like, oh, if I want to do this, I have to go and take that class. Nope, that's not the way it goes. Dreams. A lot of times people will dream about their life purpose or their life path. They will have a lot of amazing dreams in that area, especially as you get closer to your life path. That is one of those like, amazing. You will find energy that is just kind of like bringing it up for you, and you're going to have dreams about it. You are going to have such amazing insight with it of like, yes, I want to connect with this energy. Yes, I want to connect that kind of energy to what's going on, and that can bring in some amazing ones. Divine timing. This is divine timing that you're hearing this, because this is in plenty of time to get ready for this conjunction. And like I said, it's one of those, it starts May 17th. The height of it is actually June 1st, and then it will continue on until June 18th. And I will tell you that this is going to bring you some amazing energy, some amazing insight into what's going on. So that can be like, yes, here we go. Definitely. So I'm going to pull these two cards together because they are literally coming in together. They're not separating. So the first one we're going to talk about is healing, because healing is a strong part of it. And so many times people want to know that their life path is healing other people. It's always going to heal something or some part or some piece of the pie. But I will tell you, there's also a lot of celebration in that. So many times people get stuck in their stuff that they're healing, that they really forget sometimes like to celebrate what they've let go of or what they've brought into their world and make those changes. And that actually comes up also in this Jupiter conjunct our North Node. So it's kind of, yes, here we go. Okay, our next card is spiritual growth. Spiritual growth comes in because this is about spiritual growth. A lot of times people find out about their life path, or they've kind of uncovered it, but they're not really sure that, it's like, wow, that's so big or so huge or whatever it is. And it's like, it's because it's supposed to. If it was easy, everybody would do it. It's kind of like, it can't be 100% easy, but you do need to like work at it. You do need to strive for it. And when you do, it is going to change so many things about your energy. It is going to be amazing. That is the part that is going to bring in some amazing energy, some amazing insight to what's going on, that I guarantee you are going to love. Our next card is all about nature, because Jupiter is in the sign of Taurus and conjunct our North Node. The Taurus part of this is going to be bringing us like that grounding energy of like, I want to ground in that energy. And so during this time frame, like at least once during this time frame, kind of like anywhere from May 17th to June 18th, kind of find that energy of bringing in like a grounding meditation, going out on your bare feet, kind of like putting your feet in the dirt or the grass and kind of like ground your energy in there, because that is going to be kind of really bringing in that grounding energy for you and kind of making you feel like you are really working this energy and really bringing in yourself to a new healed state. Next one, meditation. Doing a grounding meditation is always lovely, but I will tell you too, meditation can be something that can help you connect to your life purpose a lot faster. And sometimes your angels and guides can really give you a new insight into what's coming up around you and kind of like guiding you, because that's what their job is kind of to guide you on your life purpose. So that can kind of bring in some amazing energy with that as well. Our next card is all about new beginnings. When you find out your life purpose, new beginnings are going to be all around you. Like I said, it is going to bring in usually some type of wealth or abundance. It is going to kind of really get you focused on what's coming up right in front of you. And this is an amazing time. This is going to be like, yes, I'm ready to kind of enter that energy in a different way. This one is serenity. It's also going to bring you a peace, a serenity of finding like your life purpose. What is it? I think there's so many people that really ask me that so many times, like, what is my life purpose? I've heard that from clients, age, late teenage, like 18, 19 years old, to middle age, the 30s and 40s. And I've heard it even into my clients in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even sometimes going into their 90s of like, yes, I want to know what my life purpose is in it because I feel like I haven't fulfilled it yet or haven't completed it yet. And I will tell you a lot of times, like you've been working on it, you just didn't realize you were working on it because it's something that really kind of drew your energy in, that you are ready to kind of make that connection with them. My next card is freedom. I will tell you, freedom is amazing when you know what your life purpose is. It's one of those that kind of makes it easier. You kind of know where the goal is, so you start moving that direction, and it's going to give you a lot of freedom. Like I said, so many times people tell me, like, I couldn't put another thing on my plate if I really wanted to, but I guarantee once you figure out your life purpose, everything else that isn't your life purpose start to fall off that plate, and you feel like, wow, I have a lot more freedom. I'm not putting everything on my plate to kind of get that energy in the right direction or kind of clear things up. It's like I figured it out, and that's all I want to do is I want to fulfill my life purpose and kind of bring in that energy. Our last card is ideas and inspiration. A lot of times when you are working on your life path or kind of trying to figure it out, you will have a lot of ideas and inspiration and suggestions from other people. Make sure you are trusting you. Make sure you are body testing any kind of information that could possibly be coming through. That's the cool part about this is, yes, bringing this energy in is going to kind of fulfill so many things for you. And I didn't get asked any questions, so that's kind of like interesting. It's one of those you still have. If you are not watching this live, if you're watching another time, make sure you post your questions, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. That is the fun part. That is the fun part. I thank you guys so much for joining me this evening, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.